All right, welcome back to the 28th episode of the Just Absolutely Boxing Podcast. My name is Ant. I'm with my man P. What's going on, P?
What's up, everybody? Just out here chilling, man, trying to stay warm for real. Hawk is out there today.
Dude, man, like, it's really hard for me to get up and do an episode whenever the weather is 6 to 8 degrees out, man. You know,
Yeah.
It's killing me.
I seen a couple threes out there, and
shit.
I seen people posting a couple threes out there, dude. So it's definitely cold.
It's cold, man.
No doubt.
I know, man. But anyways, you know, talking this boxing might take my temperature, body temperature off of it. So the biggest reason people watch boxing, knockouts. Whether it's like a one-punch knockout or a systematic breakdown, people like to see it. You know, especially a fighter wants it because he can't be denied of his victory. You don't have to worry about no judge. You don't have to worry about no referee stepping in. It's just actually seeing your opponent short-circuited. He's just out. And it all comes down to that perfect placed punch that can just end it all. And for me, and I know for you, P, it's not just seeing that one punch land or the opponent hitting the canvas. It all comes down to how the knockout is set up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and it's more to it than just the big punch. The big punch is kind of like the final thing in the sequence of things that's going on, you know, or that can go on all night long. You know what I mean? You could have a first round knockout. It could just be one good, perfectly placed punch and bow. That's it. But that's kind of the beauty of it too. It could be quick or it could be long. But definitely the behind the scenes is just as interesting as the actual KO to me. Mm-hmm. You know, how a guy baits a guy, lures a guy in, sets a trap for a guy. Just so many different things that fighters are doing inside the ring that people might not know to get a knockout. Or people might just think you go out there and just throw a haymaker and boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. That can happen, but that's not it.
But it rarely happens.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
The majority of the time when you see somebody land that one solid shot, it really comes from the patience, you know, the patience to just wait for that one moment, you know?
Right.
And patience and precision.
Right.
It comes down to accuracy.
Or even down to a guy studying that tape and knowing a flaw that this guy makes it. He
flaws,
sees that
mistakes.
flat opening and boom, you know. So it's a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's not just
one thing,
punch.
you know.
You know?
But it always comes down to that perfectly placed punch, not the big punch. Because you could have a guy with, you know, Mike Tyson power. He could just pummel a guy all day. He could withstand the punishment.
Right.
But you could have somebody with, you know, maybe less than half of that power. But if he lands the right punch on the jaw with just those two knuckles, it can be lights out, you know?
Lights out. And regardless of like a guy's size or weight class, I mean, now, heavyweight, that is a little different than when you got a fist that size. I mean,
heavyweight.
You can hit a guy on the shoulder and knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But definitely with the smaller weight classes, it's just about a perfectly timed and placed punch. You know what I'm saying? It's not about how strong you are, really how fast you are. I mean, it is a fast punch. You know, usually the punch you don't see. But it's just interesting in that way because you don't have to be a power puncher to knock a guy out. You know what I mean? Some people think that a guy has to be a knockout artist to get a knockout, and he really doesn't. You know, because let's not forget too, and it's body knockouts too. It's guys who, you know, knock guys out to the body. You're not unconscious. You know, we were kind of speaking about KOs, lights out,
KOs,
you know, but a body shot will paralyze you and debilitate you where in a way you can't go on. You might as well be. You probably wish you were unconscious from the pain.
Yeah.
You know, but both of them are very interesting, you know, aspects of boxing. And like you say, it's the ultimate probably satisfaction for a fighter. You know, it's without a doubt you are the winner. And it's the only thing in sports that really ranks up on that level. You know, it's no other sport in the world outside of combat sports that a fight can be over in a second.
Yeah.
The competition can be over in a second.
Yeah.
You know, baseball, you got 9 innings. You know, football is 2 hours. You know, basketball, 2 hours. All these sports is guaranteed to be a limit to this contest. But with boxing or combat sports, it could be over in the blink of an eye. And that's like another adrenaline rush and exciting aspect of the sport too.
Yeah. Because, like you said, it's that one sport where you actually get to put hands on your competition.
Yeah.
And once you land that one shot, you got to feel some sort of way like, hey, I was able to just shut him down, completely and end the fight in less than, 12 rounds, inside of 12 rounds versus like, basketball is a type of, it's competition too, but it's more like a team thing where you have to come up with plays and just outscore somebody. But you wish you could knock somebody on that team at some point.
And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, because it's like, a rivalry,
It's no other sport. Like when you are angry with a guy or got a beef with a guy, you don't say, hey, man, come on, let's play a game of basketball. You fight. You know what I'm saying? So boxing in that way is just like it's just another thing that puts boxing in its own lane where, of course you can't go out there mad
you can't
do that to your opponent because you're going to get knocked out. But you do put yourself in position to really pay an opponent back, get some revenge, whatever it may be.
At least with boxing and, a rivalry goes hand in hand because then you still using them fists,
dude, It's no, people say basketball, it's no other rivalry in the world and like mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? It's no other rivalry in the world, man. It's not because a team, we won, but the quarterback won the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, we won, but LeBron won the game.
Right.
Boxing, can't nobody get the glory but the fighter, Ant. You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, like we said before, sometimes it's kind of an unfair glory whenever people riding the bench and getting the, they get to ride some of that too.
The bench riders get the ring. Yeah. They get the celebration. I mean, no disrespect to them. I mean, shit. I mean, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? It's no disrespect, but it's just like boxing. You have to participate. You ain't getting nothing for sitting nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just we always talk about that, just how different boxing is from the other sports in so many different reasons. That's just another reason I was saying. But the knockout.
The knockout, man. Because look, before I forget, one thing I want to say too, like you call them casies, the casual fans, they think you can train for a knockout, but you can't train for a knockout.
No,
you can't train for a knockout. Knockouts. That's why a lot of fighters say when they're asked, "Are you going to knock a guy out?" If it comes, if the opportunity comes, because nobody actually goes in there and trains hard every day saying, oh, this is the punch that's going to knock this guy out. And this is the round I'm going to land it,
Absolutely.
It all comes down to just, like I said before, the patience and the precision. Learn how to throw the right punches and watch the tapes of the other fighter, see what his weaknesses are. And even sometimes watching the tapes won't work. I'm
about to say, and it could be a smidgen of luck in there sometimes, it could be a smidgen. Man. I mean, we've seen guys' eyes closed and they took a wild shot and boom, it paid off. You know what I mean? Right. It's a lot going on in that.
Especially some of the knockouts we've seen where the one guy, he's getting pummeled and he just throws that Hail Mary, when he's on the ropes. There's one I seen like that, dude's legs wide apart, like he's gonna fall. He just swung a left hook.
Like they say, I mean, a guy's most dangerous when he's hurt. So we understand that. And another interesting thing is too, with the knockout, like they say, it's a accumulation of punishment. But even a little further is each punch can be concussive. So it's like you're chipping away at a guy, whether you're knocking them out or not, you know what I mean? It's not a big concussion. It's just a, accumulation of
and you kind of
punishment.
You're kind of making him, you're tenderizing him for his next fight, down the road, down the line, because he might be able to take the shots in that fight, but like you said, that brain hitting the skull repeatedly, those little concussions add up. So that's why they have to go and get the brain scan, get the MRI done, after a fight, because there might be some brain swelling in there that might, end a career.
But I mean, they got in the heavyweight division that they actually said that some of those punches are equivalent to a small car crash, like some football, impact. So the brain ain't made for that. The brain is not made to absorb punishment shock of any sort. It's made to think. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking about that, man. A heavyweight punch, man.
Yeah.
Equivalent to a car crash.
A small car crash. I think they said going like 25 miles an hour, something like that. You know what I mean?
Dang. Well, there's a light heavyweight from the past, Bob Foster. He once said he fought Muhammad Ali after he moved up, and he said that a heavyweight's jab is equivalent to a light heavyweight's knockout punch.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was saying that one jab felt like a light heavyweight knocking you out.
Right.
You know?
Well, all his might,
that's just a jab.
Right.
So imagine if somebody like George Foreman hitting you with that.
Right.
You know.
Serious, man. Serious. Another little interesting fact that I was reading up on is they said your feet are the first thing to go.
Yeah.
You know, normally once a guy is getting hurt, he becomes flat-footed. We know once the legs go, you know what I'm saying? But the feet actually the first thing to go. Coordination, the guy's not able to, do the things, move backwards and forwards like he used to, and becomes flat-footed. I thought that was interesting because, we know once the legs get wobbly, it's only a matter of time, but I didn't know the feet were the first thing to kind of go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you could watch tapes all day and you still can't really see it because your first, reaction is to look at the legs, all the time, know, and you can't really see the feet, you know what I mean? You can't really see how they're placed because they're always down. So,
right. And then sometimes a guy might be a flat-footed fighter, you know what I mean? So, but once I see what they mean once I go back and think about it, you know what I mean?
It's
you
like,
see guys, I think a la when Mosley rocked Mayweather instantly became flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? He walked him down, but he instantly became, had to get his grounding back to him or whatever. So, and like I say, man, it's just like we say it. We know that it's just so many different ways. I mean, with the setup to the knockout, that's kind of like what you like to talk about, and the actual setup. Like, I mean, we know that some guys go to the body to lower the arms, lower the guard, so they can go to the head and get the knockout.
Right.
That's one way of setting it up.
Yeah.
And like they say, you go to the body, the head will fall, and I think that's always just a fact. I mean, it's been proven in every fight that I've seen the guy really put in that severe body work. Eventually, that person folds because that body attack is detrimental.
It is.
I mean, not detrimental, but it's definitely it could play a big part in the knockout.
Yeah. I mean, it's something a lot of fighters don't follow through with, but whenever certain fighters do, the reward is big. You know, the reward's big once you learn how to, work that body, man. But another thing too that is part of the setup, I feel like is the mental game. Giving that fighter like a false confidence. Like I was watching Julian Jackson versus Terry Norris again, and Terry Norris, he was outboxing Julian Jackson the first round, which was kind of getting him, hyped up. First round he had his hands down, everything jabbing and popping. Second round started the same way, but Julian Jackson, he got power in both hands. They call him the Hawk. He one of the hardest hitters at junior middleweight, and it was crazy because Terry Norris looked like he was able to just outbox him and outslick him, but he got too confident and laying on the ropes, and it was just like boom, that right hand landed right on the jaw. And Julian Jackson even said after that fight, he felt like this electricity, this jolt.
He short-circuited him. That's why I'm saying short-circuited, man. Yeah.
He felt it from the jaw down to his elbow, he said. And Terry Norris was just like out. Yeah. And the thing that woke him up was hitting the canvas, So that's the thing about knockouts too. Like a lot of people who, they think it's just boom and you're out when you hit the canvas, but that one punch short circuits you right then,
I mean,
it's a solid shot.
How we say he was out before he hit the ground. Yeah. And that happens a lot of times. Guys are literally like knocked out on his way down. Yeah. He's unconscious, you know what I mean? Hitting the ground may wake him up and may not wake him up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because in like they were saying too, I looked up some, videos and stuff like about not just the punch, that other concussion that can happen is hitting the canvas, once you hit that mat, because it's like double that. It's like the punch, and then when your brain hits the canvas, it can really start to swelling, so though it wakes you up, you're not you're not passed out, you're not knocked out, but that brain swelling is still there. It can still be dangerous.
I mean, you'd probably be safer to stay unconscious and not moving as opposed to waking up and ready. I'm all right, ref. What are you doing? You stop it too. You know how they do. It's just that adrenaline rush or whatever. But like on top of what you were saying about hitting the mat, I was just about to say something about that. But even like how a fighter falls is a big part of the damage aspect of a KO. I mean, I've seen guys fall and break their leg. You see guys, I mean, because some guys are, like you say, unconscious on the way down and unable to break the fall or control how they land. I mean, we've seen people knocked out of the ring, and that's dangerous going outside of the ring unconscious because it's concrete out there. That little table ain't going to hold you up.
Yeah, because the mat's bad enough, but imagine if you hit the floor.
Yeah, you hit the floor. And we have seen that. I mean, we've seen guys get hit with a shot, go out, and then hit with another shot and wake back up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just some of the craziest things with the knockout. It's the most intriguing thing that can really happen. And, a boxing match is not the only good thing but it is one of the best and most exciting aspects of, the sport. And it attracts a lot of casual fans and, which is not a bad thing. I wanted to clear that up this episode too. Like when we say casual fans, it's no disrespect because to be honest, I'm a casual fan of like football. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm from Baltimore. So I know a little bit about Ravens and a little bit about football. But the difference with me is I'm not going to get in a debate. You're not going to catch us talking about a boxing debate. You're not going to hear me say a word about it. People ask me about the Ravens and stuff I don't even know.
You're just there to enjoy a good game.
That's the difference.
Enjoy some good plays, but you're not going to question.
And if nothing else, I need to know what my team is doing. When somebody asks me, hey man, what are the Ravens doing? I need to know what I'm talking about if I am a casual fan a little bit. But
got to keep that ESPN app on.
Exactly. But the difference, it seems like it's more in boxing, I think, and combat sports, the casual fans want to debate and want to make statements about stuff they don't really know about. That's why, I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit. It's no disrespect to the casual fan. The casual fan is just a person who needs to learn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, same way I'm a casual fan of not just football, but a lot of things that I'm not really into. I know a little bit about them, I'm not into, but I'm not going to stand on my word and debate and go back and forth with somebody about something that I don't really know about. Right. So, a lot of our episodes, they are to enlighten people on different aspects of the sport. Like for me, the backstories of some of these guys are very intriguing. You might not be a fan of the sport, but you might be like, see an episode of 24/7 or the boxing documentary, and you say, wow, I didn't realize all this stuff was, took part, behind scenes just for one night. So it's just a very interesting thing when you look at it. And that's kind of like our job. And, something that I personally want to bring to the table is just the different aspects of the sport and behind a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. And I mean, these guys are human. They fight, but they are just human like any other person in any other occupation. You know what I mean?
And that's just another exciting thing about a knockout, how it can be a humbling experience.
It's definitely some knockouts that have been deserved out there. So to speak. We don't want to see nobody get hurt, but it's a guy who's talked so much trash that when we seen the KO, we was happy to see it. You know what I mean?
It's like beyond the point where just like a boxing lesson won't teach them. It's like they got to be shut down.
You got to shut their mouth.
You got to shut their mouth at some point. And the thing with knockouts too, man, like in this day and age, it's exciting, but at the same time, we know it can be humiliating like back in the day. But now social media, man, they'll meme the shit out of you, man. They'll just as soon as you get knocked out, there's a meme on Instagram or Twitter in like 5 seconds, And
I was just about to say that too. It's nothing more humiliating in sports than the knockout. It's nothing. I mean, basketball, the whole team loses. Football, the whole team loses. It's nothing more humiliating and probably psychologically you know, however that affects you in a
Crushing.
bad way. Yeah,
Just
you know what I'm
crushing,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, crushing.
Yeah, just
Then the
crushing.
knockout, man.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. The whole world sees you splatted out there. It's no excuses. You can say what you want, but nobody believes
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Because
It's
remember,
crazy.
yeah, because remember we say the winner, he gets all these rewards. The glory is this high, so
Yeah.
you know that the the agony of defeat is gonna be worse than anything. It's worse than losing the World Series. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and just talking about stuff like that and the brain injuries which lead down the road to Parkinson's, dementia, the stuff has been proven. It's a lot of older fighters out there in bad shape from
Blindness. Yeah.
blindness, taking a lot of shots. But that's like the main thing. It's like we don't want to see anybody get hurt. It is exciting, it is entertaining, but in the same breath, Floyd Mayweather, who is really just following the blueprint of the sweet science. Hit and not be hit is what it's all about, and that's one of the reasons why. The brain, the head is not designed to take shots. Especially from an assassin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it takes a warrior to get in the ring, but again, this is the sweet science. So it takes a warrior to get in the ring, but it takes a wizard, it takes a scientist to really take advantage of his opponent. So we talk about knockouts being, a humbling experience, but at the same time, when you see somebody get knocked out, you don't want to see him, damaged. You don't want to see them, short term or long term. When I see a guy down, unconscious, it's exciting when you see it happen, but when you see that at a certain point, it do get scary.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as some people in your mind might deserve that, they might have been talking mad smack, disrespected the other guy. You still don't want to see, that guy really seriously hurt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's, you don't want to see that. It's not what the sport is about. The sport is about, sport is not about like permanently hurting people. You know what I mean? It's a contest. You prize fight for money in this contest. At the end, both people go home to their families.
Right.
We
were talking about, the long-term damage, things like loss of eyesight, just Parkinson's, that speech slurring, you start to see that adding up. It's just because, like we were saying earlier, like we don't
put that punch stroke, that hollow voice. You hear some of these older guys acquiring. And one thing, and not to cut you off, I want to bring up while we kind of on that is the scientific, not even theory behind it, because it's not one behind it. It's just it's not a number of punches. You can't say, all right, it's 30 punches. You can take 30 punches before you get, I'm at 27. You don't know which punch it is. And I just want to bring up somebody like Freddie Roach, who was a professional boxer at one time, who didn't even really have a long career, but wound up, showing bad signs of Parkinson's, so it's not just something that happens after boxing or later on in life or later on in your career. You don't know, when it will happen, and then,
it goes back to, like you're saying, that slowly chipping away.
Yeah, that slowly chipping away.
It could be, like I said, that next fight, or it could just be down the road when you retire.
And then, you got to look at it too. And some people got more to chip away than others. Like I say, Freddie Roach, who didn't even have a long career and has Parkinson's. He might not have had, it might not have took as much to chip away. You know what I mean? You can't say that, that's going to happen to everybody. But it does happen early in people's career.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, because one person's brain might not react the way the other person.
Absolutely,
and
everybody.
That's why we got chins.
And we know that.
Classes of chins. Yeah,
we know everybody is different. So but at the end of the day, like you said, we don't want to see anybody get hurt. And actually, people might not even realize, some of the casualties out there that people have died in the ring. They've had, brain bleed. They went into comas, never woken up in the ring. It's been countless of fatalities in the ring. You don't really hear about them. They don't, broadcast this type of stuff out there, but there has been people who have lost their life in the ring. That's why, as a fan, a diehard fan, we don't want to see these guys hurt bad, and we really want these guys to be paid what they deserve to be paid, because it's a very, very, very dangerous sport. I mean, to me, that's a big part of the excitement too. It's not, not anybody can go play football and basketball, but definitely can't just anybody go box. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody, yeah.
This is a dangerous sport. Yeah, because it's the sweet science. It's hit and not be get. It's hit and not be hit, but you're gonna be hit.
You're gonna be hit.
If you're a boxer, you're gonna get hit. There's no way around it. So it's a dangerous sport, and it takes a certain type of individual cut from a certain type of cloth to be able to do this and elevate to high levels, because it's mental and physical. It's not about muscles. It's not about being a genius either, but both of those things go hand in hand and elevate these fighters that we look at and look up to these levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You
have to think. Right. You have to be a thinker, and you have to be a doer.
Exactly. Yeah, because some people say when you think too much in the ring, you're trying to avoid the fight. But again, it goes back to being the sweet science. You have to think, because if not, you'll be on the receiving end of a knockout. Balance. You got to have a good balance. You got to be able to know when to engage and when not to.
Exactly.
It's not engage. Like I said before, right. It's not that. I mean, it can be that, but that's if you want to really get knocked out. But I mean, if you really want to have longevity in the sport, like Floyd, like he's trying to teach countless fighters now, why not?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Especially, and it all comes down to, like, getting back to casual fans, they want to see a knockout. Most of the time, they don't care who, And that's why I say, at the beginning, who loves a knockout? We all do. But at the same time, like I said, since we're hardcore fans, there's certain people we don't want to see get knocked out. Right.
And that's what I'm saying. For them, you get knocked out, they don't really care what happens after that. They just watching it for this weekend. Right. As opposed to us, we might be a fan of this guy. That's another thing I want to bring up too, Ant. The same way we say a knockout. Sometimes we might feel like it's deserved, for a guy. But, for me personally, I mean, sometimes I see a guy to get knocked out and it almost brings tears to my eyes. I definitely get a feeling in my stomach, because it's something that I didn't want to see happen to this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because, the first half is always like, damn, I wish somebody would knock him out. Then when you see it, it's like, damn, it's like.
Yeah, or even your favorite fighter get knocked out. That's not good for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite guy, a la Jermaine Taylor, that's not the only one, but that's one that, pops in my head immediately, like him and Kelly Pavlik, that fight, just watching him, go down like that. It really, not affected me in a big way, but I was like, damn, man, it was like my guy went down, because I connected to this guy. I'm a fan like that.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways, where sometimes you're happy to see a guy get knocked out, and sometimes you're like, dang, man, I ain't want to see my guy go out like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It goes both ways.
And thing with knockouts too, man, it's just like not just what happens, physically, or what could happen physically. It's kind of scary seeing how some fighters react to a knockout after the fight. Sometimes they can bounce back for the next one and be like, I'm good, never happened. Which, some have that warrior's heart where it's just like, hey, it's just another day, I'm going to get up and do it again. But some fighters, whenever they get knocked out, it's just like it breaks them. It breaks their mojo. Yeah. And after that, they're constantly thinking about it. They're always gun shy.
Don't want to let the hands go. Yeah. I mean, that's a psychological after effect, but not even as far as like Parkinson's disease wise. It's just something that could happen. You get knocked out in your mind. You're thinking you're gonna get knocked out again. So your next fight, you're just not as confident as you used to be. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it. For the Kazies, it's just an exciting night, but for the fans who are connected to a lot of these fighters, it could be a life-changing event in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say, you know, they just want to see a knockout, but we're like, yeah, man, if the knockout comes, take it. That's how we look at it. But it's not all about seeing the guy get hurt, you know, because every knockout, the guy's hurt. Every knockout, the guy's hurt. The brain is concussed and rattled. It's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Some is worse than others, but every knockout, a guy's hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not the, you know, it'll take forever just to break it down, but just the little science of it. It is like the equivalent of a car, you know, a car crash. Because you think about it, when your car hits the brake, you know, imagine that being your skull, and then after that, your skull is just jarring your brain. Like when you're in the car and it jolts you, that's how your brain hits like it's hitting your skull. And each blow, depending on how strong or how tough it is, each one adds up every time. It's those little concussions, and some of those punches, like right on those, you know, sweet spots of the jaw, like they say, right there by the temple. All it takes is that one accurate shot, and it could just shut the whole brain down, you know?
Yeah.
And some people say that, I've heard some people say that sometimes that's better than taking like accumulation of punches, because your brain is quick to react and just shut you down. What do you think? I think both are bad to me, but what do you think, man?
I mean, I can't see how they could say kind of like either way, because I mean, what do you mean getting like a first round knockout as opposed to a 12-round knockout?
12-round beating until you finally get knocked out.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like the knockout is still going to come, but you took more punishment up to getting the knockout as opposed a first round knockout. You didn't really take a lot of previous punishment. You just got clipped. Because it's still a punch that caused that to happen. It's still a damaging blow. Either way you look at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because for me, like I said, it seems like it's the same to me,
Kind
because
of.
something is just telling you that your brain might be a little bit, or that sense might be a little weaker.
Right.
You know, that one punch is just shutting you down now, saying, hey, you can't take no more.
Right.
So, and it might do more, it might be doing more damage than the actual person who is taking accumulation. So we don't know.
Right. I mean, just like it could just be, you know, so many scenarios. I mean, the guy who lasts 12 rounds, he could just not be getting hit right on the button, all around the button. You know what I'm saying? And finally, boom, 12 round, he's hands low, he's mentally beaten, and boom, that opening really comes in. That's all it took.
That's all
you know
it takes.
What I mean? You know, because anybody can be knocked out. Let's be clear on that too. It's not, you know, some guys have. Let's talk about that a little bit, Ant, real quick. You know, the term glass jaw. The term glass jaw is used in boxing and other combat sports, but mainly in boxing, to describe a guy who really can't take a punch. And that's the thing. The body is not designed to take a punch, so nobody is designed to take a punch. But some guys do have a better threshold for a blow to the head than I guess another guy. So, you know, in the sport of boxing, the guy who is known not to be able to withstand a punch is known to have a glass jaw. Now, the flip side of that, Ant, is a guy can have a good jaw, good chin, you know, same thing, you know, same chin. I mean, you know, good jaw, good chin. But once he has been knocked out, it becomes easier to be knocked out again. He eventually gets a glass jaw. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, you just can't take a punch. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? But some guys can take a punch until they become knocked out. Then they can't take punches anymore.
Which is kind of like that's kind of like a sign to brain damage. You know what I mean? Because after you're good at taking the punch, and then all of a sudden you start getting knocked out, it's like your brain's saying, hey, you can't do this anymore. It's telling you more each time until it gets worse. I mean, you remember like it all happened in that one fight with Gerald McClellan versus Nigel Benn, you know, like that's that punishment he took from Nigel Benn. He was able to take it for so long up until like that 10th round. And then after that, it finally it wasn't like a knockout, but it was just like one of those accumulation beatings where
And that goes back to what I was saying. We don't know what punch it is. We don't know if it's 30 punches, 10 punches, 5. We don't know. We're not God. We don't have the insight to say, all right, I got 5 more punches to take. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the number. We know it's something in there.
We know we can't take punches.
Right.
We know that for a fact.
Exactly.
We're not designed to take punches, but we don't know how many punches we're able to take.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's a good one, that Joe McClellan fight, because, I mean, he didn't get knocked out cold. He really didn't get stopped, but he took so many damaging blows that it did something to him neurologically, and he was unable to go on, and his life was never the same after that fight. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what people don't see. He was in there taking shots, putting on an entertainment fight. The crowd is cheering, all this crap, but this guy went home and it was almost a vegetable.
Yeah.
A warrior who once was in the ring, throwing blows with the best, had been reduced to almost a vegetable. So it's a lot on the line, in the sport of boxing, man. It's you don't play boxing like we like to say. You don't play boxing, But that's pretty much all I really had on that. And I mean, we could always go on for days, but
that's just like a little piece of the science, and
right.
You can just fans can take that and run with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's as best you can do without busting out a diagram and say this is what happens to the jaw,
without
to
us
the brain.
putting on some boxing gloves and actually knocking each other out and saying, "See, that's what I mean right there.
Coming.
See how he laying on the ground? That's a knockout."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I mean, we'll be touching back up on the topic because it's a topic that's relevant in boxing always, but we just want to touch up on it a little bit and give our spin on the KO. We understand that the KO is a good thing, but the science behind it, the drama behind it, the build up to it, the tricks of the trade, all the different ways that you can go about achieving a KO, how sometimes you can't knock a guy out. So everybody can be knocked out, but everybody can't knock everybody out.
Everybody
you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's really it. And I thought it was, like I said, we go on for days.
I know. I know before we go, I know there was like just some terms I used to use for knockouts, throughout the years, like just watching so many. And they're kind of funny, but it was just different ways I used to describe them, even as a kid. I was just like, there's certain ones I used to just have to use certain like analogies to different things. Like when I see one dude get hit with just like a shot by the ear or somewhere, his legs come out, I used to call it like a baby giraffe,
Oh yeah.
It's just watching his legs, And there was another one, whenever, guy just gets knocked clean out on his back, he'd be looking like a newborn. I used to call it a newborn. Because, he's just like laying there, arms.
Newborn baby.
Yeah, arms up.
Y'all heard it here first. Yeah. Baby giraffe, newborn, Kazzies. We over here patented these terms now.
And I got another one, the gingerbread man. That's kind of the same, a little bit the same. That's like the giraffe, but that's like whenever you get hit with that one shot and then you try to get back up and your legs just total stiffness and you trying to walk side to side. It just makes
for sure. Yeah, man. Like I mean, it's like with the short circuit thing. That's what it's like. Somebody actually pulling the plug out of your body, out the socket. That's why I just love that term right there. You getting short circuited because that's kind of like just what it, what it is.
That's what it is, man. Yeah. Especially when you say you get hit and that just. You feel the shot go through your arm, and it's just like you see the dude out. It's like
it's like lightning striking real hard and shutting shit down in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's like we said, that's pretty much all we got on the topic. Like I said, we just want to hit y'all with something different.
Always.
And like I said, just take it, run with it, look up some different fights, and don't just watch the punches landing. We actually watch how it's set up. Watch how the guys. Baiting a guy, getting the trap in there, just check it out and you learn something new and you might like the sport for more than just a knockout.
Right.
Anything else you want to say in closing, P?
Nothing, just to, piggyback on what you said that, hopefully you guys can, now look at some fights, some knockouts in a different, aspect. If you already wasn't, we know some Kazzies do know more than others about, boxing, and we do have some diehard fans out there. But you can kind of look and say, "Oh, I see how that's. Oh, that's what they mean setting up the trap. Oh, I see the body. You can see different things. I mean, that's up to y'all discretion. But that's something maybe you can see if you can do now. Look at the KO in a different way.
Yeah. And like I always say, boxing is life.
Yeah.
And just the equivalent to getting knocked out. People, we always get knocked down in life. There's certain things that happen in our life where it just feels like we've been knocked out, and we've been humbled in a way in certain situations, and sometimes we just feel that humiliation. Everybody just kind of looking at you after something happens to you, and then you got to go back into anywhere, work, a party, or somewhere. You got to go back in there and face it the next day. That's a part of it. You just got to go back in there and face it. You just got to. If it happens, it happens. Just make sure it don't happen again,
All right. Well, speaking of boxing is life, I haven't seen you wear the shirt yet, Ant.
Oh man, I'm
gonna put you on the spot. I'm calling you out. I ain't saying you with your birthday present. You say you liked it, man. You say you liked it.
I like it, man.
You say you liked it. You always say that, and it's the color you like. So it's no. I made sure you ain't had no excuses.
Hold on, it's like 16 degrees right now.
I know, but you could have had it on over. You could have had it on over top of your laundry on top. Yeah, man. No, I'm just busting his chops, man.
Yeah, don't worry. Like I said, I'm gonna bust it out though. I'm gonna bust it out, man. But that's all we got for today. And like I say all the time, go ahead and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And just make a little comment. We appreciate little comments on Instagram. Just anything. Anything you want to talk about boxing. Just drop a little comment, and we'll probably run with it on the show. Give y'all a little shout out.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's all we got for today. Like always, my name is Ant. Never changes.
It's your boy P. Y'all stay warm out there.
All right. Peace.
Later.